The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Some local government units have suspended their vaccination drives as they start to run out of supplies. But the government says the next batch of vaccines are finally expected to arrive as early as tomorrow. To give us details, we have Marian Enriquez reporting live from Manila. So Marian, what particular vaccine brands are we expecting to receive this time, and how many doses?
Yes, Charles, the Committees on Trade and Industry and Health held a virtual meeting today with vaccine czar Garlito Galvez Jr. together with the Food and Drug Administration and concerned agencies of the IATF EID to discuss the issues on the implementation of the Vaccination Program Act. Galvez said that tomorrow, April 22, the government is scheduled to receive 500,000 doses of Sinovac and 50,000 doses of Sputnik vaccines from Gamaleya. On April 29, around 500,000 doses of Sinovac and 480,000 Sputnik vaccines are expected to arrive, while by the end of April, 195,000 doses of Pfizer will be delivered in the country. By next month, that's May, around 4 million doses are expected to arrive, 2 million of which are Sinovac doses and 1.22 million are from Gamaleya Sputnik. And by June, 7.8 million doses will be arriving. At least 1.34 million Filipinos have been vaccinated according to Galvez, and 209,000 have already completed their second dose. Charles?
Marian, do we have any additional details on what time we expect these supplies to arrive, and who are scheduled to receive them tomorrow? Where will this be, and where they intend to store the vials?
Yes, Charles, that part wasn't discussed this morning, but we will be asking about the details on this topic, Charles.
Right, just to give us a clearer picture, how far along are we insofar as the government's vaccination drive is concerned? I mean, there are lots of updates insofar as the vaccines that are coming in, but insofar as what we already have, how well are we doing?
Yes, Charles, 1.34 million Filipinos that have been vaccinated, which is about 1% of the country's population. Now, the FDA said that at least 6 vaccines have already been granted emergency use authorization. Those are the Pfizer, BioNTech, AstraZeneca, Gamaleya Sputnik, Sinovac, and the recently approved Bharat Biotech and Janssen's Johnson & Johnson. The initial doses of COVID-19 vaccines ordered by the private sector through a tripartite agreement will start arriving in June. And Charles, I would like just to add this, that Galvez said that the initial inoculation is very slow, but with the vaccines continuing to arrive, at least 3.3 million, more or less in NCR alone, will be conducted. He said that it can escalate 500,000 to 600,000 doses a day. Galvez also added that for the government to accelerate vaccination, they are continuously hiring and training 25,000 to 50,000 vaccinators. He added that the private sector is also allowed to set up their own vaccination sites.
All right, do we have any other worthwhile updates on the vaccination drive, Marian?
Yes, Charles, the hearing or the meeting is still ongoing, and we will keep you posted on the updates about the issues on the vaccination program, Charles.
And we will be looking forward to those updates. Thank you, Marian Enriquez, reporting live from Manila. A group of women in Pasig cry foul over their misrepresentation on social media. This came after they were bashed online for supposedly wiping out the contents of a community pantry. Lino Lavario tells us more.
These women have quickly gone viral after a video made rounds on social media showing them wiping clean the contents of the community pantry along East Capitol Drive in Pasig. On Facebook, community pantry organizer Carla Quiogue rude that some women from Barangay Pineda took literally everything, including the trays of eggs that were to be distributed to multiple residents in their area. Because of the incident, Quiogue felt disheartened to continue operating the community pantry. But in their defense, Maricar, one of those seen in the video, explained that they asked permission from authorities if they are allowed to get as much as they want.
Sabi nila, hindi, sige, kumuha na lang kayo. Sabi niya gano'n. Kumuha kayo, sige, kunin nyo lang, paghati-hatian nyo na lang. Ayun yung sabi niya. Tapos bigla nung nakita namin sa news, putol na yung video na pinakita nila. Hindi naman kami nagnakaw eh. Nagpaalam pa kami sa kanila.
One of their neighbors, Feli Angeles, attested that the women did share the haul they got from the pantry.
Oo, pagdating nila, inilapag nila rito yung mga dala-dala nila. Tapos, pinagbibigyan na nila kami. Mga dito sa kabila, dito, namigay naman sila lahat ng mga nakuha nila. Hindi nila ninakaw, wala silang dapat na ipaliwanag sa kahit kanino.
Shawi, who was one of the women in the video, reiterated that they did not steal, contrary to what they were made to appear. Although she admitted they were wrong about taking more than they should have and realized that a little too late.
Opo, may ginawa kaming kasalanan pero hindi po dapat padaanin sa social media na ganun. Isa't kalahating trays, kala nila sa kanya lang. Hindi nila alam na pag uwi namin dito, inati-hati namin at pinamigay namin sa kapitbahay namin.
Maricar also revealed that despite being pregnant and jobless, she has not received the latest aid from the government.
Hindi kami nakakuha ng ayuda. Sino ba naman taong hindi naman kukuha ng ganun, te? Ang pagkakamali lang din namin doon, sinimot lang namin yung, marami naman din kami nabigyan.
Despite the incident, the organizers continued running the community pantry. They also coordinated with the rest of the Capitolio residents to assure a more organized distribution of aid. For News 5, Lynn Olivario, We Are One News.
Tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 is still up in some parts of Luzon that are affected by Typhoon Bising. These are Batanes, Cagayan, including Babuyan Islands, the eastern portion of Apayao, and the eastern portion of Kalinga. Other areas under signal number 1 are the eastern portion of Isabela, the northeastern portion of Quirino, and the northern portion of Aurora. Typhoon Bising slows down while maintaining its strength as it moves further north of the Philippine Sea. To give us more details, joining us on the line is Pag-asa weather forecaster Joey Figuracion. Joey, good afternoon. Could you tell us where the typhoon is currently located?
Mr. Good afternoon, and to our kababayan who's watching right now. As of 10 a.m., the center or the eye of Typhoon Bising was spotted at 360 kilometers east of Tuguegarao City, Cagayan. Bising maintains its strength with maximum sustained winds of 175 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of about 215 kilometers per hour. It's moving northwestward at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour, Charles.
All right, thanks for that, Joey. Insofar as what you're projecting, how long do we expect Bising to have any effects on the country?
For the next 24 hours to 48 hours, part of northern Luzon will still experience rains and gusty winds. And as of our latest forecast track, it is expected to exceed our area of responsibility by Sunday morning.
Thanks for that update. That was Pag-asa weather forecaster Joey Figuracion. The emerging coronavirus variant from India has been detected in at least 10 other countries, including the US, UK, and Australia. But should we be worried about the so-called double mutant COVID-19 variants? University of Utah's Stephen Goldstein gives us the answers on Bloomberg Quick Take.
It's certainly possible that variants are playing a role as they appear to be in Brazil. Could absolutely be the case in India. But you don't want to kind of get sucked into that thinking like, oh, this is really bad. It must be because we have a variant. It's totally possible to have this bad of an outbreak without something new. The U.S. had a horrible epidemic over the winter, not driven by any particular single variant. I think it's difficult to say if any given variant is responsible without a fair amount of pretty rigorous epidemiological works. But we saw that the UK, through a combination of non-pharmaceutical interventions and vaccination campaign, turned their outbreak over the winter around, even though it was caused by B117. They turned that around before they reached, 50 or 60% vaccination. They're still not there. So that shows that the non-pharmaceutical interventions can break the back of outbreaks caused by more transmissible variants. I don't think it's clear yet that this variant in India, or most of the other variants that are on our radar screen, whether they are more transmissible or not, though. It's called a double mutant because it has two potentially important mutations in the receptor binding domain of the spike protein. So that's the head. The spike is kind of like a stalk with a head, and the head of the stalk contains what's called the receptor binding domain, which is the part of the spike that physically attaches to ACE2, which is the protein receptor on our cells. And so it has two mutations there, one called L452R and one called E484Q. It's probably a little misleading to call it a double mutant because I'm sure this variant has other mutations as well. The L452R and E484Q mutations are certainly potentially significant. I think we could predict that those are two mutations that could have some impact on antibody neutralization of this virus. So it's possible that this virus has a slightly higher propensity to reinfect people who were previously infected. It may partially escape vaccine-induced immunity to some degree. I don't want to say that it means the vaccines don't work. I think they will still work, but there may be a slightly higher rate of these so-called breakthrough infections that we've started to hear about or something like that. And so that's why those mutations are important.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.